You've likely experienced the moment a professional interaction shifts. The volume in the room rises, sentences begin to overlap, and the collective tempo of the conversation starts to accelerate. In these moments, most people feel an immediate pull to match that energy. There is a deep-seated instinct to keep pace, fearing that any drop in speed will be interpreted as a loss of momentum or competence. This usually manifests in reactive behaviors, talking faster, clipping your sentences, or jumping in to seize control of the conversation before a colleague has even finished their thought. When the meeting ends, there's often a sense of survival, but a lack of satisfaction. You might feel like you were merely responding to the room's gravity rather than driving towards a specific outcome. High achievers tend to view this as a personal failure of focus. They assume they simply lacked the discipline to stay calm while the stakes were rising. This chart maps a common pattern. As the drive for speed and effort spikes, operational clarity tends to drop in the opposite direction. It suggests that the very instinct to keep up might be the thing that compromises our judgment. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the physiological sequence. Biological arousal mechanically narrows your field of attention. As internal tension rises, your brain filters out secondary information. This narrowed state biases you toward immediate, urgent action. Your biology demands you do something right now, prioritizing speed over deliberation. Social mimicry serves as a multiplier for this internal state. It is a secondary force that makes the room's pace feel contagious. Humans have an evolutionary trait that leads us to synchronize our energy and tempo with whatever is most volatile in our immediate environment. Without a deliberate intervention, your tempo becomes a mirror of the room's chaos. You become a passenger to the environment's pressure, rather than its pilot. Standard defensive moves, like holding your breath or forcing a faster response, generally fail to regain control. These reactions often signal that you are being managed by the situation. These reactive maneuvers consume the cognitive resources you need for high-level decision-making. The faster you mirror the room, the more you drain your capacity for complex thought. This urgency is a survival mechanism meant for physical threats. In a boardroom or a negotiation, where the task is influence and judgment, that same mechanism becomes a liability. Decelerating under pressure is an act of governance. It moves you from a state of reaction to one where you are actively setting the tempo of the interaction. When the environment feels uncontrollable, governing your own tempo is the single highest leverage move you have. Applying this is a mechanical intervention, an operational skill that works through deliberate physical repetition. The technique starts with a specific breath. Lengthen your exhale slightly before you speak, then deliver your first sentence slower than your instinct suggests. A 2-second pause before answering serves as a gather step, a brief window for your internal state to settle. It's important to acknowledge that the evidence for these techniques varies across different contexts. Mastery isn't about a sudden transformation. It's built through small, boring repetitions in low-stakes moments. Tools like mirroring and labeling what you hear in the room can absorb the momentum of an argument. These methods allow you to acknowledge the force of the situation before you attempt to redirect it. If you take one thing from this, next time pressure spikes, take one slow exhale before you speak, then deliver your first line slightly slower than your instinct. That's it. Small tempo change, big difference in who is driving the moment.